Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 490. This show is brought to you by Primary Arms, VZ Grips, and Walker Defense. In this show, we'll be reviewing something. Rusty's here, so it'll actually be some binoculars. But we also talk about a compact shadow, raiders, forward charging, and failures to launch. Oh, or maybe not failures. As you may know, we showcase guns, gear, and anything else you might be interested in. We do our best to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm Chad Wallace, and tonight you guys are stuck with Tony and Rusty. Rob is like getting rained out or something, and Rusty is changing the font on my VZ Grips ads so he could read it. So take it away, Rusty.
VZ Grips been manufacturing handgun grips since 2003 with a reputation for quality, consistency, and innovation. Top-tier manufacturers choose VZ Grips. They come in a variety of styles, pattern, colors, and are manufactured from proprietary G10, micarta, carbon fiber, or polymer. Available from a varying degree of texture, VZ offers a wide range of grips for all different firearms. Made in the USA, VZ Grips gives you the grips you can count on. Feature grip of the week is the VZ Operator. I think we've had this one before.
Well, this is the original Operator. So it's okay. I don't know. I mean, we may have talked about it before too, but I stuck it in here because I hadn't seen it in a while. So it's the one that's like got slants on the back half and then like checkering on the front. So.
And it comes in dirty, y'all.
Exactly.
So, with if you check VZ Grips out at vzgrips.com, coupon code GGR15 gets you 15% off handgun and rifle grips at vzgrips.com.
Nice. See, and now I can, take it back to the normal text size, so now that Rusty doesn't need to read it. It's for you guys out there. All of a sudden the VZ Grip ad gets like twice the size. I'm like, oh. So
sorry.
No, it was kind of funny. Do you guys do anything cool in guns?
I sighted in my 1022 finally. I took it out and just used just bulk blazer ammo. And I had the Swamp Fox 5x24, I believe. The Patriot scope I had and I put on there. And I was shooting 100-yard groups with it. And I had them all touching, 3 or 4 round, 5-round groups, all touching. And 100 yards, I was using dialing up with it. Then I was actually using the crosshairs, calling wind and moving up, and it did really well. And no failure to feeds or mishaps or anything. The ammo did really good. You had your occasional flyers in there, but it's blazer ammo, and shooting 100 yards with it, 50 yards it shot great. And then I had an old Palmetto State. Actually, I had a Palmetto State 16-inch upper been laying in my gun safe for about 4 years now. And I finally mounted, I picked up a Cabela's LPVO years ago, and I never mounted it. Well, I mounted it on there, and I think it's a 1-6, and I sighted it in. I don't know who makes it. The glass is okay on it, and I did kind of a semi-box pattern with it, sighted it in. I know, some people say do it, some people say don't, but it was with the 1-6 at 100 yards. It was shooting 2-inch groups, so I was happy with that. For being able to see that far with that little magnification at 100 yards with it, I was happy.
Nice.
For a 16-inch barrel. So
nice. And
yeah, dude. I mean, it's funny that people have come. Oh, I expect 1-inch groups. Hey, you putz. You use an AR-15 that the requirement was 4-inch groups. That's what the requirement was for M16 family of firearms. 1-inch groups were something that custom made rifles got 30, 40 years ago. To get it with a budget off the rack AR, not using match ammo with a regular GI trigger, and you're getting 2-inch groups, awesome.
I think I was using 55 grains. Was it CMMC ammo, the black box ammo, the bulk ammo?
Yeah.
I was using that and 55 grain ammo. And the only other thing I did to this gun is I mounted a PowerTech, their varmint light to it because we've been having a lot of coyotes running around on the farm and stuff lately, and they're coming out more and more. We've had calves drop, and so I wanted something that I can, because it's illuminated optic, and you turn it to 1 power, and you can run up close, or you turn the light on it, and it brightens up red or green, and I can throw some distance on there, and I mean, it's within coyote killing distance out to a couple hundred yards. I shot 200 yards with it, and I can still shoot 4-inch group with it, 3 or 4-inch group, and I can still kill a coyote that distance with it. And that's all I need is 170 yards across the field. So I'm good with it.
Nice.
I think a lot of people demand accuracy that they can never get. You know what I mean? It's accuracy that they got once with a 3-round group on a good day.
If I was going to demand accuracy out of an AR-15, it wouldn't be in a 16-inch barrel, and it wouldn't be in a 5.56. It would be a 20, 22, 24-inch barrel, and it would be a heavier bullet, and then you're talking about single feeding rounds through there, and then a lot more power. Yeah.
Now,
or I would shoot like 6.5 Grendel out of it because I can shoot on a bench 1/2-inch groups at 100 yards with it. So,
right. Like for me, the amazing part is that 16-inch upper, the Expo Arms one that I have is a tack driver, like literally a tack driver with 68 grain match ammo, off the shelf match ammo. And until I had that, my most accurate AR was my 11.5-inch SBR because the barrel doesn't move much. And so if you're just going for accuracy, now granted, you're not going to get velocity and the wind's going to move it more at range. But if you're talking 100 yards, it was my most accurate AR. And so it's, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, if you're making a true like varmint rifle or tack driver, you're going to want something longer than that, but doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be more accurate.
Right. Yeah, because I've got a 10.5 that I use a lot of times with a Holliston on it, and I can hit 200 yards all day long with that red dot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can ring 12-inch steel with it, probably 28 out of 30 times.
Right.
And if the wind's good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Tony, did you do anything? Like a diversity shoot?
I did a little something. No, I didn't do a diversity shoot. I went to the kids' youth shoot.
There you go.
And that is always awesome. CNJFO hosts their youth shoot to bring in children. Eric, who is the guy in charge of that particular event, brings a crap ton of 22s from single shot crickets because they have a deal with Keystone. And Keystone provided the single shot bolt action crickets. So we set them up at the Union Hill Gun Club on the range. We had 5 instructors over there. We had gun caddy people whose only job is to switch out guns if something happened. And then on the other side, once the kids shot single shot and learned that, they came over to the other side and they were able to shoot lever actions. They were able to shoot single action revolvers. Semi-autos that were anywhere from the Smith, the Victory?
Yes.
They got to shoot the Smith Victory. They had opportunity to fire Ruger Mark IVs, SIGs, FNs, all of that stuff. Everybody who makes a semi-automatic 22 was represented. And then we had a whole bunch of different types of 22 semi-autos. It was really great. This was the first year I wasn't an instructor. I mean, I was there, but what I did was I facilitated the whole thing. So the instructor wouldn't have to leave the port. We've streamlined it. So the instructor goes in the port. I hand them a target. I hand them the ammo, and they instruct the kid. And whenever they run low on something, they call for it. Every time a new kid comes up, we give them a target. It ran really smooth. It was a great event. Kids got to eat. We had a bunch of cool raffle prizes. It just felt really awesome having the newest generation out there shooting guns, and they really, really appreciate it. We went through, I think, about 3,000 rounds of 22.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I disappeared really quickly because he had like 60 guns to clean.
Right.
Yes, it took a bunch. I think it was like multiple trips by. I think we had like 6 people going in and out to get all the guns back into his truck. And I was like, I hope he doesn't remember I live 3 minutes away from him when it comes time to cleaning all these guns.
Next time you do a kid shoot, and you need that much ammo. Let me know, and I'll stock up and I'll mail it to you. Or I just need the money for the ammo.
It's awesome, dude. Yeah, we can have you donated straight through CNJFO, and that way you can write it off because they're 501c3.
Nice.
Because I know what it's like. Cause raising 6 kids and shooting a lot. I've burned a lot of my yard out here. You could probably take a metal detector out there and find brass piles out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would be like, dude. People are like, what happens if you win the lottery? I'm like, pretty much this weekend, over and over and over again.
You don't have a
ammo manufacturer.
You don't have a gravel driveway. You have a brass driveway.
Mm-hmm. It's a new thing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's what rich people do.
Yes, it's what rich. Yes, I paved the entire driveway with brass.
There you go.
So it's like I go to the shooting range to shoot like 500 rounds, like I did the other day, and then that took like. Because I kind of diddle around a little bit. It took a couple of hours. And then it took me nearly that long to pick all my brass up because most people sweep it off into the gravels. I'm down there with my hat off, picking up brass. And then I was like, oh, there's other brass over here. Well, there's 357 SIG brass. Well, I don't want 357 SIG, but I'm taking it anyway. and my kids are like, you're ridiculous. You're the only person I know that goes to the range with a 5-gallon bucket and take 500 rounds and come back with a 5-gallon bucket full of brass.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
I'll be there one day.
I didn't really do much, though. I did get this, Blue Alpha inner belt that I had ordered, because here's your Velcro, is because, being handicapped like I am, being able to buckle a belt one-handed can come in handy.
How long are you going to be in the sling, bro?
For
hey, buddy,
another month.
That's my everyday belt.
Exactly. And so I ordered this thing, right? I had sent Kurt over there a message, and I was like, hey, do you think these things would work well one-handed? And he's like, I really don't know. That's a good question. So since he couldn't answer, I'm like, it's going to be better than trying to use a buckle, right? So I just ordered one. And then, of course, being Kurt at Blue Alpha, because they're awesome, he refunds my money. He won't even let me pay for the stupid thing. I'm like, yes, really.
Hey, Kurt.
I mean, it's not like it was expensive either.
No, you can get the inner and the outer belt. I've got the 1 3/4. I wear the 1 3/4 every day. Shorts, pants, slacks, whatever. I wear the inner belt. And it's been completely wet, and I've got swim trunks with belt loops in there, and I put it on. And if I go in the water, I go in the water. It's been hunting, fishing. I wear it every day at work. It's been on horseback. Keep on laughing, Tony. I got more jokes. And I carry my holsters, my outside the waistband holsters on it. Then I've got the outer belt that I have my hunting rig set up on when I go hunting. And I carry the Black Rhino concealment holsters on the QLS system.
That's the one he takes off when he goes swimming and has to, stab an animal because he didn't want to get it.
when he falls off his horse onto a pig in a river.
Yeah.
My question is this: how do
No.
they like? What size gun do you use with this inner belt, and does it hold up?
They're a double. They're pretty stiff, and Rusty's
full
wears
size.
his.
What is that?
That's the Walther Creed. I had it on today.
Okay.
And
so it held up. All right.
I carry the 10 millimeter. If I don't put the 10 millimeter on with the, if I don't throw the outer belt on with it, I've actually put it on because I've got 2 holsters for it, and I've actually put it on with the what's the clamp system they have?
Uniclip
or the
Uniclip?
Yeah, Ulti clip.
yeah.
I use the Ulti clip with that because it will slide a little bit. I've carried my Glock with it. I carry my Canic with it. Inside the waistband carry, it's phenomenal.
Well, I've been waiting for a friend of mine because he December Customs. He's here in Jersey, and he said he was going to start making belts, and I wanted to get one from him since he knows me, and I mean, like, we know each other, and he hasn't come through yet. So I'm like, look, I work in a prison, and I have to take my belt off 6-8 times a day. I'd just rather have that Velcro thing, boom, done, go in and out, and it allows me to clip, your holster onto it to carry a Glock when I'm carrying.
Do you have to take it off because of the metal that's on it, or because?
Yes, the metal.
Because I do believe this is a plastic buckle, so I think you wouldn't have to take it off.
When we went to SHOT Show, I did not have to take it off going to the airports.
Right. And Tony, even though there's not one your size on the website, I bet if you contacted him, yeah, they can, because of what it is.
He would.
Yeah. So there you go. But yeah.
He told me he would. My whole thing is, like, everybody's like, what's the big deal? I'm like, you take your belt off 6 times a day?
It's
8 times a day? It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I could just blow through, cool, boom, pack down, grab my stuff out, grab my keys, and keep it moving. Because I carry a flashlight every day. I carry my keys every day. You drop that in the box, you push that through the X-ray machine, and you can just walk through.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have to take off your belt, it's like, okay, now I'm holding up my pants because, it is what it is. And now I have to hold my pants, run a belt loop through, put that on, buckle that up, and then go in.
And they do make, like I said, this is the inner belt. They do make their like EDC carry belt that basically doesn't have the soft Velcro on the outside. I got this one because I was like, well, once I'm done, being one-handed, I can
use it.
Yeah, as an inner belt. I can just, and who knows, I may love it like Rusty does and just wear it every day. I'm thinking that might be the case. Now, announcements, bandwidth sponsor. You know who they are. Patriot Patch Co. Let's see. Patch of the Month Club. I pulled it up because I don't have it yet. It is September's exclusive. This I will defend. And it's like Lady Liberty, kind of. I'm trying to figure out what Ryan's telling us because she has a mask on, even though it's an American flag mask. It's got like
I was looking at this. Where did I see this?
But yeah, I mean, it's still cool. So. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I didn't see this. It's pretty freaking cool.
It is pretty cool, though. And a plate carrier.
Like Lady Liberty has on a plate carrier, shotgun with a mag pull front end.
Yeah. Then a couple ARs, one with a suppressor. It looks like a saw.
Looks like a saw. Was it 249?
Yeah.
A SCAR, a 1911 with a can, a sawed-off shotgun. And she's wearing like a COVID mask, red, white, and blue.
Yeah, with an ammo belt.
Sunglasses.
Yeah, sunglasses.
And an ammo belt around on that. Bro, you just tried to get everything in this sucker.
I guess sometimes he gets bored. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So go join the Patch of the Month Club. This is the last show for the FRN patch giveaway, and I think, I don't know if General Champ, I already have him in there because he got one for being in the chat. All thumbs if he'll send me a reminder email to gungearreview@gmail.com. I will he will get one also, but there's probably a few days left. I'll probably cut it off on the website too. So if you're listening to the show, put a comment in and send me an email, and you'll probably get an FRN patch. But for you listeners on Friday or past now, sorry you missed out. Maybe next time. Affiliates discounts, you can go to the firearmsinsider.tv website, find them all there, or you can go to the show notes at the FRN site, find them all there. Rob is not here, so we're just going to skip the disclaimer today, see what he says. Unless you guys want to read it in T-Rob voice.
Nah.
So, main topic is sponsored by Walker Defense Research, and Walker Defense provides shooters with the finest, most innovative quality tactical accessories and firearms components around. From their Nile grip panels to their Nero muzzle brakes, no details are ever left behind. Only top quality materials are used in the manufacturing process. Together, all of this gives you some of the best firearms performance around. Everything they have to offer is proudly made in the USA. Walker Defense, where American ingenuity meets bleeding edge technology. And our Walker Defense product of the week, again, this time is the FDE Bolt Carrier Group. You definitely need to go over there and take a look at this thing. It is beautiful, at least as far as a bolt carrier group goes. And if you want
to party.
Yes, and if you want to make an FDE gun that has even more FDE on it, this is the way to go. And you can visit Walker Defense Research at walkerdr.com. Don't forget to use Insider15 for 15% off everything you find over there. Now, Rusty,
Yes, sir.
You are up with the Primary Arms GLX binocular review.
Man, we're going to talk about some knockers, guys. Some good-looking knockers here. So, the Primary Arms GLX 10x42 ED binoculars. So, all I can tell you about these, as I can tell you about this review, it's about a pair of binoculars. I was lucky enough to receive the GLX 10x42 binos from Primary Arms for review. I wanted to use these during turkey season, but life got in the way, so I carry these in my backpack and use them at work. For you that don't know, I am a paramedic, and I run as an intercept, which means I run an SUV by myself, and I cover a lot of area. I cover 3 counties when needed, and a lot of it's interstate or in very rural area. So I've been using these to survey the scenes of wrecks before I get there, certain hazmat situations, or just to find mailboxes or house numbers from way off the road. A lot of the time I use them just to people watch. This is really actually pretty cool with these binoculars. But I've been using them a lot lately while fishing. I've been looking for skipjack, shad breaking the water, and I've been looking for my buoys when I set out trot lines. So a little bit about the binoculars. They're 10x42 binoculars. The features are they have a gray finish. They're 10x fixed magnification, 42 millimeter octave. They're waterproof and shockproof. Magnesium construction with rubber overmold, fully multi-coated lenses, 15.2 millimeter eye relief, 6.2 degree angular field of view, 341 feet field of view at 1,000 yards, 2 meters close focus, prism type roof. The length of them are 5.5 inches. The width is 5 inches. The height is 2 inches, and they weigh 23.74 ounces. They have a soft case that's included with a soft neoprene neck strap. So that was all the technical specifications off the website. I know it's a little boring, but you need to know what you're getting. I don't have a lot of experience with other binoculars. I've carried the same pair for about the last 15 years or so from another leading company, and all I can tell you, they don't hold a candle to the GLX pair. These are super clear, light, and light enough to carry with the neck strap around your neck all day. The color of light transmission I got from these reminds me of several high-end rifle scopes I've looked through. I've tossed these in the bottom of my flat-bottom boat. I've carried them in my backpack, in the saddlebags where I'm riding horses. I've even used them during trapping season when I had a bunch of skunks when I was trapping out on a piece of property. To say the least, they're durable, tough, waterproof, and have survived the encounters that I've put them through. And I've not been easy on them at all. I really wanted to see how the body held up with hard use without keeping them in the soft case all the time. I found out they are tough as nails. The only piece that came off was off the focus ring in the center, which was just the logo for the company. I think it was glued on. It did not affect any of the use of the binos. They were easy to use with sunglasses or my regular glasses on. They seem to just fit right on your face once you get them adjusted. I mean, when you come back up, they're right there every time. What I liked about them is that they're over rubber molded and they are easy to handle with wet or sweaty hands. I went to my local sporting goods store and looked through several of their binoculars and tried to make a comparison, but it was hard to do inside. But what I found out there, the GLX 10x42s are about the same quality and craftsmanship as other binoculars that are twice the price. I would like to tell you about the field of view and all the other specs that are on there, but it's Greek to me. What I can tell you is for the money, you're getting a quality pair of binoculars for half the cost of comparable models from those of larger manufacturers. Firearms Insider's 8 key points claim to fame: quality binos at a very fair price. Target market is hunters, bird watchers, backpackers, people watching, those who like quality, and concert goers. The features and benefits of this products: they got a mid-range price point, primary arms lifetime warranty, they're overmolded and easy to handle, great light transmission, water resistance, they're rugged. What other aesthetics and options and finishes available? They have another brand that's less money, which is the SLX line, which Chad has a pair, and they're fantastic as well. What others are saying, Joe at Primary Arms, these binoculars are amazing build quality and it's top notch, and their glass is super clear. I have a high-end pair of Steiner binoculars, and these have just as nice glass as those which are Scott glass. I've used a lot higher end optics, and these are incredible, especially at the price tag. They are by far the best binoculars I've seen in the market for the price, if not double or triple the cost. And that's what I'm saying, because I looked at a lot of binoculars and spotting scopes, and I've looked at a lot of high-end scopes and spotting scopes. The glass on these things are really phenomenal. The price point is $259.99, which if you go and look at some of the other ones like Vortex and stuff like that, you're going to pay twice the price for them. And I'm telling you, you're going to get I don't like to say as good, but probably better quality with these over Bushnell or Leupold or somebody that's at the same price point. If you need it now, Primary Arms has them. Amazon, R rating, pros, rugged, great quality, good construction. Cons, I really cannot come up with any. These things met everything that I could come up with. Like I said, I've had them for a while, and I've thrown these things around in my truck. I dropped them in my boat. They've been underwater. They've been on horseback, and hell, that says a lot for me. They've rode in the side by side. They've been on the tractor. These things have been everywhere. They've rode in backpacks with all my trapping gear, and they've worked great. They've been in the cold weather, in and out of the truck. I didn't see any fog in it or anything. I know I didn't put that in review, but in and out of the truck during the winter time when I was running trap lines, and they never fogged over or anything. So, any questions?
I don't have any. Like you said, I do have a set of the SLX ones, and they are not ED glass, but they are still pretty clear. And that padded neck strap is fantastic.
Yeah, the only thing I like the padded neck strap. I've got a bino harness that I wear a lot of times with my older ones. That's the only thing I'm going to change out on it, because they keep it up close to my chest and doesn't grab the brush when I go deer hunting.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I'm going to change out on them.
But and that's just how you wear them.
Yeah, how I carry them. Yeah, I would like to have one of the cases that rides on my backpack strap and to drop them in, but them things for that company is like $150 for that case, and I'm not paying that.
Right, and when you're dealing with what's the price on these? $260 or something?
$259, yeah, $260, yeah. But I tell you what, man, these things, the only thing that popped off literally was where it said primary arms, and I still got it in a bag, but it is because I dropped it in the boat from like 3 foot, and it fell in the boat and it popped off, and I was like, well, shit. Oh, sorry, but it just popped off, and I was like, well, if that's all that happens to them, so what?
Yeah, because it's not, it's not, doesn't affect the function of them.
Yeah, it's just aesthetics.
Yep. You got anything for him, Tony?
No, I got nothing.
Okay. Well, thank you for that review. Now, product spotlight and discussion. Don't know if you want to hear about this, but we're going to talk about it. It is the CZ Shadow 2 Compact. Looks like MSRP on this thing is about $12.99 as far as I can find. At least that's what I hear. So, as you know, it is the CZ Shadow 2 Compact. This is a double single firearm, hammer fired. So we'll get that part out of the way just because, you need to know it. It does have their, shortened reset trigger. It is an optics ready interface. You do lose the rear sight if you put the optics on it. It's running a forged 7075 aluminum frame. Now, 9mm, as you probably guessed. Magazine capacity is 15. Weight with an empty magazine is 30 ounces. Overall length is 7.5 inches. Width is 1.4 inches. Height is 5.4 inches. Barrel length is 4 inches. It is a hammer forged barrel. Has a fiber optic front sight, checkered rear. Like I said, it is double single. They say the trigger pull on single action is 3.4 pounds and 10.3 on double action. Trigger travel is 0.11 inches on single action and 0.19 inches on double action. And the trigger reset is pretty close to the same. Now, of course, it is manual safety, and it does have a safety notch on the hammer. And it's a Shadow 2. So, it is
not drop safe. Not drop safe.
Right. Does it have a firing pin block?
The manual safety only works if it's in single action.
Does it?
Yes.
So it's not.
You have to pull it. You have to pull the hammer back for the safety to go up. That's the only way it works.
Gotcha.
So other than that, is a double X trigger pull, but it's sitting on the firing pin.
Yes.
So there's that. Now Tony and I were talking about this before the show, and we're like, I will preface this with, I wouldn't buy one of these just to have, but I see where it fits in the market. Now, if you're shooting carry optics, I think this would be a great pistol because it's now a factory pistol. Probably fits in the box. You get everything it needs to do. Don't quote me on any of that. So there's that. Now, I think they brought it out to compete with like the Staccato compacts as a carry gun, because that's the market I see. Because like Tony and I were saying, I'm probably gonna, if I'm gonna get something like this, I'm gonna buy the polymer CZ P07, close to the same size, and carry it. Now, there's differences, but you guys get the idea of what I would do. They also, Tony said, is it the P01 compact? That
SPO1 compact
that they also manufacture, which is essentially the same size, and it is a aluminum framed gun. So you get about pretty much the same features.
28 ounces.
Right. Yeah. It's 2 ounces lighter, but it also isn't optics ready. So that's basically where your differences is. And those are a little different in that they are drop safe as opposed to this.
So my thing is, are you going to buy this to carry this? This is not to you. This is to anybody. Are you buying this to carry this, or are you buying this to run in a carry optics compact division in a shooting league? Because that is, I like this gun. I like it a lot. But for the money, I think there's better options out there for it than this that are maybe a lighter, because it's still what, 30-ounce gun,
Yes.
and then that's empty without an optic. And then you look at the Glock, which is 10 ounces lighter, and then you look at the Staccato, which is about 8 ounces lighter. And,
Different animal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I know it's a different animal. I know it's a different animal altogether. But I'm just saying, you look at the prices. This is aluminum frame, steel slide, but I think there might be other options out there. I mean, like, what is the Beretta
So
Brigadier?
I was going
combat.
through and I was looking for optics ready, hammer fired, metal frame. This is the price you're going to pay.
Yeah.
For double single, optics ready, metal frame, from the top, or like there is no Smith, right? Smith
No.
has nothing.
No, they have a metal frame.
Glock has nothing.
Smith has a metal frame one, don't they?
Not hammer fired.
It's not hammer fired.
That's right.
And it's not DAS.
Right.
So when we're talking about what this actually is, this is CZ's first optic ready compact pistol, because the other stuff isn't. So yeah, they're right where they need to be. They're less money than the Staccato. I think for what it is, if you want a higher end CZ with everything already done to it, and it has a track record because we can use the Shadow 2's track record for it. But let's talk about what we're really getting and how. Okay, you want to do it? One-stop shopping. You buy this from CZ, you got it. You lose a rear sight. That's the only thing that may bother some tactical Timmies. Totally got you.
Buy a damn good optic, and you got to worry about it. You can still sight them in through the window.
Yeah, trust me. Anyway, that'll change too. The requirement to have a rear sight on it will change too. Just like it was not a good thing to have red dots. That was competition garbage. And then all of a sudden now you're going to get killed in the streets if you don't have one. So I tend not to listen to what tactical guys have to say, because it continually changes. And none of them ever have the audacity to realize, oh man, I was wrong about that. They just all keep just repeating the next thing. So anyway, but what I'm trying to get at it is, you had the SP01 compact, or you have the, PCR. These are all guns that are smaller CZs, Glock 19 size CZs, and they're between $550 and $700. You can get those, and then you can send them to CZ Custom. It's I think $180 to do the cutout for an optic, and $200 for a trigger job, or vice versa. But for about $400, you can get really, really good trigger put in. Cajun Gunworks or the equivalent, and you can get an optic cut done. So you can build this yourself, I feel, and you still use CZ75 magazines, because you can use the 14, 15 rounders that come with it, and the extended ones used for competition. So I think it's cool. I think it's great. I don't know how many they'll move. It's, again, one-stop shop to get a carry optics gun. Really nice. It's 28 ounces, or 30 ounces.
30.
Excuse me. It's 30 ounces. Hey, listen. Or you could buy a Legion. I mean, this is where you're at. You're in the Legion, Sig Legion. I don't know what the Beretta, like which Beretta, maybe a Wilson Combat Beretta Brigadier, is in that same.
That's where I was thinking, and then you're looking at the Leighton, was it the custom? I can't think of the guy that does the.
Let me run this right past you though. When you go to CZ's website and check out CZ Custom, when they're selling a CZ Custom version of the guns I just told you, the SP01 and the PCR, I think I'm getting those right. They're $1,400 guns, $1,500 guns, if you're going to buy directly from CZ Custom. So I think this is where CZ values their stuff at, and I think compared to those, you're getting a better end of the deal. So, hey, it's awesome. It's $1,299. It's $1,300. That's what you're going to pay if you want a CZ out of CZ Custom Shop, or this particular gun. Same.
Yeah, and
Aftermarket is going to be awesome for these things.
oh yeah, and you're gonna get good aftermarket. And in the chat, Tim Knight said that CZ is going to require someone who's a student of the gun, basically not for everyone, which is true.
It is true.
And of course, he also said it's in the price range of like a SIG 22X, meaning 6.9 family with options, which are also hammer fired double single guns. So, like you said, the price is in there with probably what you're gonna get for what you get.
Tony, the Beretta, the Langan Tactical, Brigadier General 92 LTTM, which is the Langan Tactical, is going to run you $1,149 off the Beretta website.
Yep.
But unless you have monster hands,
and that's with an 18-round magazine or 10-round in communist states.
Right.
And listen, all of these are awesome choices. I've shot a lot of them, and dude, they're great. I mean, I've shot the Legions. I haven't shot a Langdon Tactical version.
That's good. When I drop $1,000 for a pistol, I will hate to say it, but it's going to be the Beretta from Langan Tactical, and I've said it several times. I've brought it up on the show several times. It'll probably be that because it's all steel, and I know there's something about having an all steel gun that I really like. And
there's something about having an all steel gun I don't like.
It's just what I want. I mean, it's just I'd like to have an all steel Walther. I like to have that competition Walther. But this right here, this gun is fantastic. I cannot poo-poo it whatsoever. I mean, I would love to have it and carry it, but I don't know. I think it's a little out of my league price-wise. Well, I don't know what the price is because it really hasn't come out yet. I heard 900 from some people. And then
it's right now on sale on Classic Firearms, $12.99.
And
so I got the email today. Yeah, it is for sale.
Okay.
I got the email.
Okay. And Brownells has them listed at $12.49 or something.
Okay, because I think that the Shadow 2 runs about the same price.
I believe
exactly the same price. Yep.
Yeah, because the Shadow 2, I mean, you can take the Shadow 2 out of the box and you've got a comp gun. You could take this and literally do the same thing with it.
The Shadow 2 weighs like 50-something ounces. All right, so that is not going to be a carry gun. No, but I'm just saying because it's like, well, what's the difference? It's a much heavier firearm.
Right.
This is set up. I think they did a great job with it. We know I'm a CZ fan. I got 80 CZ. I don't even know if it's called a Pre-B. Was from 89, and I have another one from 91. And then I got the P07. So I dig these things. This is an expensive gun, but I don't think it's really like crazy for what it is. It's right in the ballpark of this particular category of firearms. And we know CZ runs. CZ feel good in your hand. Excuse me. The CZ75 base guns feel good in your hand. Chad and I were both talking, and we really don't like the feel of the P10s. But the CZ75 type guns are just feel really good because, I mean, they did a great job because it's based partially on the Browning high power.
Yeah.
And that's another gun that feels good.
You look at the bottom of the CZ75, you look at the bottom of the Browning high power, they got the same back hump on them. And you look at this, it's almost the same thing. So this gun is replica. They just shrunk down a CZ75 and they customized it.
Yep.
So that's what they did with this gun. And I think it's great because CZ75, John Browning was not a fool. He fit guns to the hand. He molded it in clay, just like God told him to, with the 1911 and the high power, and put them in people's hands. You can take the Beretta PX Storms, throw them in the garbage because they were crap. And then, and like the HK P30s, they were junk. They didn't fit the hand well. They functioned, but they didn't fit the hand well. Unlike these guns that do. So,
yep.
I mean, that's just my thought on it.
Okay. So that was the CZ Shadow 2 Compact. As you can tell, we like it, and that's where it is.
Don't forget the Junkie XDE.
Next up.
Sorry, but that.
Who called for that piece of crap?
Where did that come from?
I got on a damn rant. Okay, I'm sorry.
That was just great. The Springfield Armory caught some fire for no reason.
That's right. That's perfect. So next up, we have the Swamp Fox Raider. MSRP on this is $279. Now, I'm actually somewhat excited for this because, if you haven't figured out, I like 1X prisms, and especially if they have good eye relief. And that's what this is. It's their 1x20 micro prism. Now, you can get it in either their bullet rise compensation reticle or 6 MOA dot. Features a T2 footprint, shake awake, auto on, that type of stuff. You can get it in either red or green for the same price. You can add a 1.93 mount if that's something you're looking at for, looks like around $50, which is not a bad deal. Now, so for specifications, click values, of course, are 1 MOA. If it were me, I would get the bullet rise compensation reticle because it is a 1X prism. Lens diameter is 20 millimeters, has 10 illumination settings by Digital Press, of course, shockproof to 1200 Gs, IPX7 water resistant, CR2032 battery life 35,000 hours, or max battery life. It is 2.56 inches long, 2.05 inches wide, and 2.3 inches high with the 1.1 inch mount. It weighs 7.69 ounces. Of course, fully multi-coated optics, anti-fog, hydrophobic, anti-scratch coatings. Parallax free at 100 yards. Field of view at 10 yards is 70 inches. Eye relief is 3.54 inches. Exit pupil is 15 millimeters. The mount is standard pick rail style mount. Chassis is die-cast zinc alloy, and it has 90 MOA range adjustment for both windage and elevation. Now, if you see this, and you've seen our sponsors, Primary Arms' 1X micro prisms, they look very similar. Probably because my guess is they are very similar. It's just different reticles. Now, granted, this is a Swamp Fox. I really like this. I can't really say much more about it, except I kind of like the bullet rise compensator in a 1X, especially, I would mount this on something like an SBR pistol. I'm actually looking at mounting one on my M11.
Okay, so I've got the blade, and this is just a smaller version of the blade.
Right.
Okay, so the blade is fantastic. I have not used the Raider yet, but I've used the blade. It has a bullet rise compensator in it. Once you figure out what it does and how you use it, this thing is dead on accurate with the chevron and the little pieces in there.
Right.
Once you figure out how that bullet rise works out of your barrel, it tells you to sight it at 50 yards. And then you go back, and then at like 3 and 7 and whatever, you follow the chevrons, this sucker is on. So that means life or death if you're in a hostage situation, if you are a police officer, and it means like you're taking a headshot or you're taking a shoulder shot, and somebody's head might be in the way or somebody's shoulder might be in the way, and your bullet rise coming out of the barrel, it's coming out and it's climbing, folks. As soon as it's coming out, it's climbing. And this Swamp Fox is on its game on this. I'm a big fan of Swamp Fox. I've got a lot of Swamp Fox optics, and I was really excited when I seen this because I'm going to buy a couple and throw on some other PCCs that I have. So yeah, I really like this. Because the blade is very heavy, but I run it, and that's what I use when I hog hunt. I use the blade because I'm hunting up close, and I damn sure don't want to shoot one of my dogs.
Yeah, no kidding. And according to them, in their literature with this, at the top of the chevron little arrow, it looks like in this case, is you sighted it at 50 or 200 yards. Then the bottom of that is 15 yards. Then there's a dot below it, which is 10 yards. And then all the way at the bottom of the circle ring is a dot, which they say is 5 yards. And that's using their standard mount with, I'm assuming, 5.56. And like Rusty said, you just sight it in and figure out where they are for your particular rifle, carbine, whatever you're using it on.
Yeah, see, go ahead, guys.
No. I was just agreeing with him. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, see, I haven't run Swamp Fox, but we know I handled that Primary Arms 1X Prism, and dude, if the glass is anything like that, it's awesome. Plus, this one has an option of green, which I think it's a lot sharper. And the reason I like Prism is because I have Stigmata, and
That's Dogmata. My bad.
That's our show title.
Stigmata, nice.
Stigmata.
But yeah, I have stigmatism, and it just the red dots are rough, man. I have to turn them really down far, and again, a lot of my guns. A lot of my carbines, all of my stuff is used for the diversity shoot. When it comes to, having my favorite AR that I use for home defense, I'm still using a freaking red dot. But I mean, at home defense distances, you're fine if you're in the house. But what if something happens outside that you have to take care of? Now I know that I'm going to have this weird looking dot, and you don't have that when you have something like a prism. And now when you have something like a green prism with a chevron, then you have a really tight or precise aiming point, and then you also have these dots. So I think it's awesome.
And it doesn't even have to be illuminated. If your battery goes dead, it's still etched in the reticle.
Yeah, so it's like an escalator. Hey, if power goes out, there's still stairs.
Yeah.
So I still think prisms are really good for what they are, and especially when you have a 1X prism, so you have a bigger eye box also.
Yeah. I run the Blade, and I've been running the Blade for several years now. When they first come out, I got one of the first Blades, and the shake awake is fast. It goes down. When it says it goes down, it goes down. When you pick the gun up, it's there. It's back to the same setting. If it's anything, this Raider is anything like the Blade is, you're not going to be disappointed, because the Swamp Fox people have been fantastic with setting me up on stuff. And I haven't even mentioned Guns and Gear Review when I talk to them. Yeah, I just mentioned me, and I'm having issues, or so, like I mangled one of my optics on one of my pistols.
Shocker.
And yeah. I had one in the mail before I ever took it off my gun, and then I sent it back to them, and that's how fast it was. It was like, "Oh, we found your order. We're sending you one in the mail." That's how good their customer service is. And,
yeah.
And so they've been really good to me, and and I ordered my son-in-law. He had bought a Gen 5 Glock, and he wanted they make mag extensions. I bought him, I think he had like 5 or 6 mags. I bought like however many mags he had. I bought their mag extensions for him, and he loves those things. I don't own any, but I've seen his, and they're fantastic.
I got you.
I mean, they put out good stuff.
Yeah,
I call it the working man glass.
That's probably a good definition of it. And I want to mention that I did look through one of the prototypes they had at SHOT Show, and it was fantastic. It reminded me of the other brand. So I will say, at least the one I was looking through at SHOT Show, and these guys know if you look through stuff at SHOT Show, you're kind of just finding a beam off in the distance to look at, or a vent or something, because that's really all you can do. But you guys get it.
Hey, is that Tim Knight, the lawyer, the NRA guy that's on here?
Tony's shaking his head no.
I don't think Tim's a lawyer, but yeah, that's Tim Knight that used to be.
Yeah. He's from Chattanooga. He's from where I'm at. He needs to contact me. We need to talk about our county mayor.
Okay, so that was the Swamp Fox Raider. Doesn't have anything to do with mayors. Next
I'm
up,
just saying.
I know. Next up is the Bilson Arms BA9FC. MSRP is $1,550 for this. This is a unique niche market, is I guess what I would say about it. Sounds like
Star Wars.
No, I think that was somebody racing outside Tony's place in the hood. So, and what this is, it's 9mm PCC essentially, and the unique feature about it is it doesn't have a rear charging handle. The charging handle is like it's on the foregrip / handguard, and it's like a grip like you would pump. Like it looks. So you see this and you think, oh, it's a pump action PCC, but it's not. All it does is cycle the bolt like a normal charging handle would do, except it's on the forearm. Now, the theory behind this is, at least my understanding is now Tony's going to argue this, and I'll agree with him, but you can eject rounds easier. You can technically maybe cycle it without taking your eyes off of the optic. But if you get a jam, you still kind of have to take your eyes off the optic. You may not have to drop the rifle from your shoulder like you do sometimes with a normal charging handle, depending on how you operate it. And that's where the advantage lies in it. But then it has other flaws. At least I think, according to Tony, on how that works. But for some instances, like PCC competition, it may work better than your standard style. But
we've got a basically an AR Remington 7600.
Because those charged from the
they're pump action.
No, but it's not a pump action. All that does is cycle the bolt. So you move the pump back and it moves the bolt back. But once you push it forward and load around, it's still semi-auto.
Okay. I got confused when you was you was pumping shit and I got excited.
Well, of course you did. But yeah,
So,
go ahead, Tony.
so I'm looking at this, right? Friend of mine saw it, you saw it.
Yeah.
And there's some confusion. Okay. So I'm watching their videos and it's like, hey, if you have a failure to fire, you can rack the round out of the chamber. And I'm like, that's not how immediate action drills work with ARs. That's not how you run an AR-15. That's not even how you run a handgun. One, you want to see what the frig stopped the thing from shooting in the first place. You don't just go, I got a click, so let's just rack it. You look, you see what it is, because if it's a devil feed or whatever reason you got that click, you need to clear it. And I'm looking at this going, I see what you're doing. It's innovation, but that's not how you run these guns. So you still have to clear this thing. I see what you're saying, Chad. If you have a failure to fire, it allows you to quickly eject the round as opposed to bringing it out of your shoulder and racking. I mean, check and see what it is, pulling it back. Got you. How many people train on the AR to clear a jam or clear a malfunction that way? So now you got to retrain yourself with this particular gun where everything else is still the same? Hey, cool.
This is kind of like a messed up bullpup.
It's just you're not even following the way you clear AR. So it's not second nature if you already trained with an AR. It might be second nature if this is your first gun of this type, or you're willing to put in the time to learn how to use this particular thing. But how many malfunctions do you have in it? You need to have this dedicated to that. in that way, then you need to change ammo or fix your gun because this is a $1,500 rifle starting. $1,500 buys you a really nice PCC.
And I will say it's not that this isn't a nice PCC. It's just different innovation. It's like from what I saw when I handled it it's a nicely built PCC. They did a good job with that. Now, the forward charging system, like we said, it works, but like Tony says, you still have to, if you get a double feed or certain jams, you still roll the rifle to look at it. Granted, you might be able to just keep it on your shoulder, roll it, and see what it is, but you still have to do the same type of drills. Now, granted, it might be faster. I don't know in that case, if you're clearing certain jams, it may be faster because you don't have to reach to the back of the rifle. You only have to manipulate magazines. And then once you stick your hand back on the forearm again, you're just pushing it forward to load the next round after you just changed magazines and cleared the jam. I can see that being quicker. Maybe because usually you put the mag in and you just drop the slide. That's what, so, but like Tony said, it's innovation of incenses. Maybe it'll go somewhere. I do know, I think they brought out one the same in 5.56. I don't know if it's out yet, but I saw pictures of it and they were showing it. So, and other than that, I don't have a problem with it. And, if you want something like this and want to try something out like this, I think it's great. Not just because it's not for Tony and I, it might be a fun range toy. It might be something fun to shoot, groundhogs with. I don't know.
So,
I mean, people buy guns all the time that it's like, oh, this is cool. I just thought it would be cool, so I bought it.
I would like to see the insides of it and see, okay, so like, what kind of bar system is it running to rack that thing with? Is it going to bind up with me?
Right, I get what you're saying.
Okay, because, a lot of shotguns run a twin bar system. And a lot of old semi-auto rifles or shotguns run a twin bar system on there. And that was the biggest issue they had, was those bars were wearing out. So I don't know. I know this thing is not running back and forth, but is this going to bind up with me? Because we know that forearms are not the most sturdiest thing in the world, because we've seen Zane do a review and beat the crap out of one time, but it still worked. They flex. Is this thing going to flex and bind on me?
look,
Or they designed this thing where it's not going to flex and bind? I don't know. I didn't handle it, so that's the question I'm asking.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I handled the one at Shot, it felt smooth, which of course didn't surprise me. So I can't really answer your question. I mean, it felt solid. It wasn't like you could feel like, certain guns, you can kind of feel them kind of do weird things, like feel squishy in spots, like at the forward or backward end of charging, like certain pumps and stuff like that. So it didn't feel like that to me, but like I said, I just handled it for a few minutes, or if even that, and that was it.
I couldn't find anybody to actually review this thing, and I'm looking at the money that they're asking for it, and then thinking about what I can get myself. I can get a CMMG that has a track record.
A Circle Q10.
Right. No, but I'm talking like $1,500-$1,600. I can get the CMMG. I can get a JP Enterprises for about the same price, and they run competition, and they have the reputation. And you just clear it like you clear any other AR. And also, you can't get a SIG MPX or whatever you call that, but you can get a lot of nice pistol caliber carbines based on the AR for this price that have a track record of success and of use in competitions and anything else. I would look at that before I looked at this.
Yeah, I would like to handle one. I didn't get a chance to handle it, so I don't know. I'm just looking at my perspective. I hope it works out. I think my only thing is I would try to pump the damn thing every damn time because I'm used to that manual arms is a hard thing to pass. Once you get muscle memory, it's a hard thing to beat.
Right.
So, but it's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool.
And as far as it goes, when I saw it, I wasn't going to their booth to check on that particular firearm, but what was it? Probably a year or so ago, we talked about the stock that they had come out with. I can't, the one that's like on a ball and multi-adjustable and everything like that and swivels and that's why I went over there to check that thing out. And I will say that stock is pretty awesome. I that's all I can say about that is it's like, that's the stock that is multi-adjustable, and I don't remember the name, and I clicked off their site from Bilson Arms is pretty cool. I will admit I was impressed with it. So now that was the Bilson Arms BA9 FC. Now we're on to something I put in here basically for Tony, because we've talked about the Kershaw Launch 13, but there is now the MGE Knife Center or Blade HQ exclusive. And basically it's a Launch 13, but it's blue. They have a different color too, but really that's the only difference. It's still CPM 154, still the Warncliffe blade, still weighs a whole 2.5 ounces. It's $135. Stuff like that. Still handles 4.48 inches, 1 inches width, thickness is 0.45 inches on the handle. Handle material is aluminum. It's still an auto opening knife. Basically, if you hadn't got the idea, we do like the Launch 13, but now you can get it in blue, so I put it in here. Tony, what do you got on it?
I feel like the weatherman, the black weatherman from Family Guy. It's blue. That's all I'm seeing. I have the Launch 13. I bought it after we had it on the show and talked about it. I thought it was intriguing. It's a it's a lightweight knife though. But now that I've spent time with it, I've used the heck out of it. I'll say it is small. The knife body is small. And so it doesn't fill your hand,
Talk about small.
Well, that's small too. But it's very lightweight. It's small. The Warncliffe blade doesn't lend itself to things like food prep. It really doesn't, because it has no curve. So everything's on the same. Your knuckles will hit the table before the knife will cut whatever you're looking for if you're trying to slice food with it. I've done it. I use it to slice tomatoes. I use it for food prep. Listen, I pay over $100 for a knife. I'm using the heck out of that thing as a knife. And that's what I was doing. And that's when I discovered, also, you need to oil it, which I did. And the color holds up, but the color on the clip doesn't hold up. Clip is different. So the clip has chips on it, but it's very lightweight. I really love the way it looks. I had it actually, I posted it to my stories last week. It's a cool looking knife. It's a cool looking, very, very, very sharp knife. I like it, but it's not as functional as it could be because of that blade shape. And it doesn't fill your hand up. It doesn't take up much room, but it doesn't fill your hand up.
You need about 4 inches of handle for the average hand, and Tony's hand's probably about 4.5, 4.25.
Right. And
yeah, it's a little bit bigger.
And
I'm just saying, because Tony's got big meat hooks. I'm just saying, first time I shook Tony's hand, I was like, holy crap, he's got big hands.
It's not that it's not long enough. It's just that it's so small, like diameter around. It's like to grip it this way is just
Yeah.
and that's the problem with it, because it does have like a 4.5 inch long handle.
If they would put a belly on it, something like this blade right here.
Yep, exactly, or something.
That knife would be fantastic,
right, or something like that. Yeah,
they got the steel. The handle for my hands, the handle would be great and I understand where they're coming with this knife right here. And for the price, it's a good blade. It's a good knife.
I don't disagree with any of that.
Yep.
It's not for me. I hate a Warncliffe blade. I can't do nothing with them.
Yep.
I can't sharpen
it. There you go. Yep. It's it is a beautiful knife. If you like the way a knife looks, this is it. And truthfully, look, if you got the pretty knife and it's fast, it is very fast to deploy. I mean, you hit that button, pow, she out, baby. But I also combined it with my Kershaw Shuffle 2, which weighs like 2.5 ounces, but it has a belly on it. It has a short blade. I can use it to cut food. I can use it for stuff like that. And then I just have this really nice, lightweight, fun knife to look at. And yeah, I guess if I have to use it defensively, I have really good steel. You have a really sharp knife. It can slash and it can poke. Well,
it will,
but it will cut. So that works. Again, own one. It's just not blue.
That's right. So that was the Kershaw Launch 13 in blue. Now, Primary Arms, just in time for summer. Primary Arms has everything you need for a successful range day. Their selection of range gear includes everything from shooting mats to hearing protection, as well as range bags, targets, magazine loaders, and more. Plus, they have great deals on prepackaged first aid kits, which are perfect for the home, car, or that range bag. With high quality products and unbeatable prices, Primary Arms is your go-to source for all your shooting needs. Visit them today at frn.deal/PA. And our Primary Arms product of the week this week is the Strike Industries 30mm adjustable scope mount. So if you need something, you're not sure how much eye relief you need or something to that effect, this is a cantilever mount, but it has adjustments so you can slide it forwards or backwards depending once it's mounted on the pick rail. Now, if you use the code Firearms Radio at Primary Arms and check the firearmsradio.net/PA to find out what the deal is, which is the buy the GLX 1 to 6, you get a free mount, as it's been for quite a while. But just in case it changes, you can check firearmsradio.net. We do not have any listener feedback, which means
I got a question. I got a question for the listeners.
Okay.
I'm wanting to get into precision rimfire and precision rimfire silhouette shooting. What are your suggestions, listeners? Help us out here.
That's a great idea.
I've got a 1022 Ruger light varmint that it's got a wood stock. What do I need to put on there? I've got the 6x25 optic on there for the Swamp Fox. And would you recommend the 1022 or a bolt action or like a Ruger Precision or a Tikka or a CZ? Y'all let me know. We'll make it happen.
There you go.
Let's run something else on by them too. What ammo?
Yeah. What ammo? Yeah. Y'all let me know.
You guys
Ely.
Is it Ely? Is it Ely that you use, or is Ely?
It's from what I hear, it's whatever you can get right now.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I want to see who's going to respond to me, because I'm looking for serious questions. I've been browsing the internet, and you start looking at some of these guys, and I don't want to go thousands of dollars into a gun to shoot. I want to add on to what I got. If I have to change barrels, I'll change barrels. If I know I'm going to have to change trigger groups, because that trigger I got is I don't want to say it's bad, but it's rough.
Well, the other thing too is I don't know. So tell him what class he should shoot something like that in too, because I'm sure there's classes.
Yeah, I'm not shooting like the BR-50 stuff where they've got those things mounted down to a micrometer, adjusted thing where they've got like just the actions are $2,000. the club I'm at, they've got like the silhouette things where they're shooting 100 meters. They're shooting like little rams and stuff off the, like what little 4-inch, 6-inch rams at 100 yards. Then they got a precision 22 thing. And what are you guys using? I want to know.
Nice.
I want to build something.
So now that Rusty asked his question, you can send them into gungearreview@gmail.com or fill out the form on the firearmsinsider.tv. It'll get to us the same way if you want to help Rusty out. Now you can help Tony out by letting him tell us about diversity shoots.
Diversity Shoot is Thursday, man. If you're listening to this show, you missed it. It was awesome. You should have been there. It was It was life-changing. It was a moment. It was like the sky opened up and the sun came out at 9 o'clock at night in Monroe, New Jersey, right above recoil range. It was like amazing. And you missed it, but you shouldn't miss the next one. Anyway, that's right. Thursday, 31st of August, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We're going to be at Recoil Range. We're going to be having a great time. If you missed this one, diversityshoot.com. Our next one is at the end of September. It's the third Saturday in September at Union Hill Gun Club. We're going to be back over there. We're going to be having a great time. What we're doing at Diversity Shoot is welcoming all people, regardless of race, religion, gender, or even how long you own firearms, because what we do is introduce you to the guns we have. So you get to shoot a bunch of different guns. You get to meet 7 Second Amendment advocacy groups in your area and talk to them. You get to ask questions about your local area. So we're going to be talking about Jersey carry permits. We're going to be talking about gun control. This is yet, I think, the third or fourth diversity shoot happening immediately after a mass shooting. So we have people ask questions and we bring it up. I do not shy away from this. And we have that discussion at Diversity Shoots. So if you want to come out, please do. Recoil Range. You can purchase your tickets on eventbrite.com. You can visit my social media, which is Simon Says Train on Instagram, and click on my bio, and they have the ticket sales there. You can also visit Simon Says Train on Facebook. Click on my entry there. It'll take you directly to ticket sales. The second is for everyone on Facebook. Second for everyone on Twitter. Or X, as no one calls it. So you can also go to diversityshoot.com and donate to us and help us pay for stuff like pizza, which we provide at every diversity shoot.
And if I'm not mistaken, if you go to Recoil Range and you see Tony there, he's about 250 pounds lighter from the videos he makes. He's clean shaven, well spoken.
When I shave my beard, I drop 250 pounds.
He looks like a Mr. Goodbar.
Also, I'd like to thank our ammo sponsor, Ammo Lab, for getting me my shipment. So we're going to have ammo, and we give it to our volunteers for them to shoot because they've stood by us for years, reaching their own pocket. But we've been so successful that we're hosting these things every 2 weeks. And I'm sorry, but no one can hold up to blasting out like 250 to 500 rounds every 2 weeks as a volunteer basis. So my guys are awesome, but Ammo Lab came through with us, and I'd like to thank them. Check Ammo Lab out. They didn't ask me to do any of that. They were like, we like the work you do here. But I'm like, hey, check them out. And if they're cheaper than whoever you use currently, or even just a little more expensive, understand that they help grassroots organizations like mine out on a handshake without asking for anything. So if you want to buy from them, buy from them.
Which is why we let Tony tell about his ammo sponsor on here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They didn't ask for a damn thing. Hey, you want a discount code? Buy it.
Okay.
Just buy it.
Just buy it. Now.
Just buy it.
If you're tired of listening to Tony, you can send questions, comments, or feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Don't forget.
Mr. Free tells you just buy it.
Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review somewhere. You can check out all the other great shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.net. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider at firearmsinsider.tv. Please check out all our great sponsors, and thank you for listening to the largest pound-for-pound podcast on the network, and we are out.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
Trump's got a great mugshot.